Hey, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek, and it's time to review episode 6 of season 1 of Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. This episode is called Terrifying Miracles, and it's better than we've had for the last 2 episodes. It's kind of back to form. We get a monster in it at least, albeit briefly, I suppose. Right, let's just get on with it, shall we? But before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already, and all that stuff. Right, let's get it up and let's go through it and talk about it. As I said, it's better. Not that much, but this isn't going to get a high score from me, but it will better. We begin with the credits. There's no what they call it, a teaser or whatever before the credits this week. I think it's the first time, I could be wrong. Anyway, off we go. And we begin in 1955 it's like a defence industry ball, whatever. Oh, there you go. American Defence Industry Federation, 1955 Summer Ball, Bally High, which was a big thing back then, wasn't it? That sort of stuff. And there we see young Lee Shaw, Wyatt Russell, in his dress uniform. Here we get Dr. Keiko Mura, who's looking, dolled up in a nice dress for this ball. Bill Rander, the young Bill Rander, is nowhere to be seen. He's still at work. This is where we learn that there's going to be a blossoming relationship between, Lee hopes. There'll be a blossoming relationship between him and Keiko. But we know that that's not going to happen, don't we? Because she becomes Keiko Rander, doesn't she? And they have kids and grandkids, all called Rander. So I don't see the point in this, to be honest. But anyway, so they have some talks and stuff, and there we go. And they end up going to see General Puckett, the amazing Christopher Heyerdahl, who just commands the screen all the time. I think he's one of the greatest actors that's ever lived, to be honest. I do. He's amazing. But anyway. He looks slightly drunk. I think he's slightly drunk, but anyway. He's making jokes and stuff with these other officers. I think it might be this one. Comes back later on. They don't seem to like what's going on with Monarch. And they're itching to take over. I think they might be Navy. I suspect they are Navy, whereas Puckett and Lee are Army. Right, so this is afterwards. Lee talks her into going up to the hotel room, and they're gonna basically do it. But first, they're gonna dance. It goes on too long. Does this scene? Honestly, it does. So I'm skipping past it. I will checking my watch and stuff if I wore one, my phone. It did go on really far too long. Because we know it's not going to go anywhere, their relationship. Their official relationship, if you know what I mean. She's going to end up with Bill, we know that. Maybe she has an affair with Lee. I don't know, but there you go. They seem to be liking each other. And look, there's a little... there we go. There's a little thing with the pinky fingers. It's not showing it, never mind. And there you go. He wants to go. They're going to go and do it. Up in his room, but then a bellboy comes, says, calling Lieutenant Shaw. Or is it Captain Shaw? It's Captain Shaw now. Calling Captain Shaw. And urgent message, and it's from Bill. So that they go back to Monarch HQ. But then we jump forward to 2015. They're in Alaska. Is this Alaska? I don't know. It could be. I mean, are they real mountains? You never know these days, do you? This could have been filmed in bloody Idaho or, I don't know, Nebraska. You never know, do you? But this is where we see, this is old Shaw, Kurt Russell, being transported with a bag on his head. The van stops. You hear that screeching of wheels, but inside the van, they don't move. I thought, if the van stops suddenly, because you hear screeching of tyres and stuff, they'd have been like that, wouldn't they? Because you're in a normal car, that happens, but no, they just sit there. So that's not good direction there, is it? Then you hear a bit of a commotion. Then Duval arrives. Remember the French lady from Monarch. And she starts speaking in French. She's on the phone. And is she on the phone now to May? Remember May at the end of the last episode phoned Duval up and said, tell me what I've got to do. I want out, or I want to go home. Is she talking to her now? And I don't know, but or is she talking to somebody else? Here we see she's talking in French, and then we learn that Lee also speaks French. I think he speaks a few languages, to be honest. He seems to. So she speaks to him in French, gives him instructions. Luckily, the fellas with her don't speak French, and she beats them up and chucks them out. And she frees Lee, and this is where we learn that she's become disillusioned with Monarch. Her sister died in the nuclear power plant accident that was in the 2014 Godzilla film. So she's become disillusioned with Monarch, and she wants to help Lee now. I know it doesn't look like it there, but she does. There you go, she's getting all teared up, telling him family history. So off they go. They leave them unconscious people behind and jump in another car and head off somewhere. Back in 55, Bill's got some information. I forgot where he says they're supposed to go, but never mind. So they've got some info. Oh yes, I think they have to go to I think it's Japan, I think, to meet with this scientist who's got an invention to do with gamma rays or gamma radiation that attracts, the Titans. Anyway, back in 2015, too much backwards and forwards, isn't there? To be honest, there is, but. Here we are. Boo! Still don't like May. They try and redeem her a bit in this episode and soften her, but still don't like her. To be honest, I don't like any of the characters, apart from Kate. But that's only because I think she's gorgeous, but so I'm cutting her some slack. And anyway, they get to Kate's mum's FEMA residence. Because remember, it's a FEMA park set up to house, refugees or whatever from the disaster the previous year when Godzilla and the Mutos basically destroyed half the city. But they get there and they find that Lee Shaw's there and Duval. There we go. So they're all going to go off as a team again. Right, so here we see the devastation of San Francisco. Looks cool, doesn't it? In an effects way. Not I'd like to see San Francisco devastated like that, but you know what I mean. It looks impressive, that's what I'm trying to say. And it's Tim and her, and I can never remember her name, so I'm going to have to look her up now. What's she called? I can't remember. Verdugo. Natalia Verdugo, played by Mirrelly Taylor. That's who that is. She's kind of the boss of, or one of the bosses of Monarch. I think there's somebody above her, I think. But anyway, they're at Randa's office. Excuse me. Hiroshi Randa's San Francisco office. Remember where they found the chart on the wall, and she... well, not she, it was him, wasn't it? It was Kentaro that, I think, that beamed the sunlight onto the chart. It was dead silly. So they knew where to go. They're heading for North Africa, apparently. Or they were going to be. Well, they still are. But anyway. But Tim figures it all out. He sees the holes in the wall where the pins were. So there you go. So he figures it all out. He ends up drawing a map on the wall in a bit. There you go. Draws a map on the wall. And connects the dots and works out where they're going. And he's forgot about Britain for some reason, and the Baltic. And he's joined up Spain and North Africa. Maybe that's what the world looks like in this universe. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, right, so he works out where they're going. So he's pointing out San Francisco here, Godzilla went to this island somewhere in the Pacific, and then they're going next to North Africa. That's where Hiroshi disappeared in Alaska, although technically I think that's probably Canada, but never mind. I don't think his map's to scale. Anyway. Right, so they're going to Africa, North Africa. Right, so we're here. We're Hatteruma Island back in 1955. And we learn that this is Monster Island. That's what they call it, this chap. Dr. Suzuki. Oh, I remember the name, Dr. Suzuki. So he says, welcome to Monster Island. So if you know the Godzilla films, you know that there's a Monster Island. And all the monsters end up living for some reason. But that's what they're calling this. And this is his invention, his gamma ray thing. I won't want to stand... gamma rays are dangerous, aren't they? I mean, look what it did to the Incredible Hulk. Bruce Banner. But also gamma rays are dangerous because they could wipe out all life on Earth if there's a gamma ray burst in space. But maybe it's low level, I don't know. So that's his emitter that's going to attract. He says it's like a dinner bell for Titans. So, anyway, so that's what they're planning to do. Right, so I think we're in North Africa now. I think it's Algeria. I think it might say. I don't know, I can't remember. There's the lovely Anna s01e06, whatever. Kate. So she's guiding them with the map. And... May's still saying she wants out, and Duval promises that after this she can go home. But obviously that's not going to happen, is it? Right, so they have like a camp that's made up of like ex-Monarch people, and Lee tells them that not all Monarch people are bad, and some of them are ex-Monarch, and some of them are quite good people, so they're helping them out. So there we go. So remember, they're looking for, well, Anna and Kentaro are looking for their dad, who remember went missing in Alaska. They thought he was dead, but he'd just gone missing, and now they're following the clues to find him. Meanwhile, back in 1955, this is Lee, and he's talking to Bill. There you go. Who's on Monster Island? And he keeps asking, or starting to ask, how Keiko is, but then Bill keeps talking. So there's a love triangle going on. So obviously Lee's madly in love with Keiko. I'm sure she's a lovely person, but she needs to eat a few pies. I like a bit of meat on me women. But that's by the by. Right, so he ends up going to General Puckett's house. So the amazing Christopher Heyerdahl, who's cooking hot dogs. And... he's basically gone for some advice, sort of. And Puckett, I think, is wanting to go and help his team. That's what he says. My team need me. So Puckett's saying, send somebody else. You're in charge. And he says, but my team need me. And so Puckett ends up saying, you've got a choice to make. You can either lead the Monarch team, or you can do what you want to do, and somebody else will be in charge. So he ends up doing what he wants to do. And then by the end of the episode, spoilers, somebody else is in charge of Monarch. Anyway, so there we go. Right, back in today time. Right, they're in North Africa. I doubt it's North Africa. It's just somewhere dry. Don't ask me where it was filmed. Could be anywhere. But they find him. They find Hiroshi Randa. There you go. He's there. He's alive, and he's got a pickup truck with a gamma radiation emitter that seems to be working. But then there's this big hill behind them, if you notice, that has some kind of familiar looking rock formations, which we'll see in a bit. There we go, like them. Clue as to what's going to happen. But they're all happy, look, they've found him, yay. But then he starts telling them to go away, and then he starts packing his stuff up and he drives off. And then Lee says, we're in danger, we've got to get out of here. Then it cuts back to 1955 again, and they've got the gamma thing in the middle of the lake or whatever it is. Lee arrives, and there you go, he's left his post, not in uniform, you see, left his post to go see Keiko, or be with his team. He's really going to see Keiko. Bill takes Dr. Suzuki to one side, says, we don't want to be a third wheel, because obviously realise there's something going on between Keiko and Lee, but obviously we know that Keiko and Bill are always going to end up together, aren't they? Anyway, it takes me away. Dr. Suzuki's talking about, fourth wheel. So we're going to the third and fourth wheel or something like that. And he starts going about, 4 wheels are cool and all that, whatever. There he is. come back to see Keiko. Then back again to 2015. Tell you, it's all over the place. Does my head in. Really does my head in. But it's nice to be going back to 55, because I don't think we have done for the last couple of episodes, have we? I could be wrong. So I don't remember. There he is, turning all this stuff off. They're going to start running away. Then a helicopter appears, a Monarch helicopter with Tim and like a Monarch SWAT team or whatever, or a group of Monarch mercenaries or whatever. They look ready. They're loaded for bear anyway, and Tim's all happy. Then back to 55 again. Annoying, sorry. So we have a little love story thing. Did you come back for me? Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Etc. They're in love. They do kiss. There you go. And then they notice that the detector's gone. There you go. Where's it gone? Then it's gone under the water. Then something spits it out. And then up comes, there he is, from the depths, 30 stories high. Godzilla arrives and goes and swims away. And then they say, oh, we didn't kill it. Because remember, they tried to blow it up with a nuclear bomb, didn't they, a few weeks ago? So Godzilla's not dead, but we knew that. But they now know that. Meanwhile, back in 2015, Hiroshi Randa's driven off with his gamma-rated thingamabob. And all the ground starts shaking. Oh, what's going on? Then all the rocks start falling off. Whatever this is, you see some familiar-looking spikes. Godzilla's been under... It's only a year, isn't it, since San Francisco? So how's he got himself buried under all this... how's he made himself look like, essentially, a mountain? They're just going for the dragon motif, aren't they? The dragons, they sleep under mountains. That's probably where how volcanoes were explained in the olden days. The dragons asleep under the mountains. But anyway, so they all start falling and rolling down this mountain a really long way. And I'm like, if they all survive, it's stupid. If they all survive, it's stupid. They've got a broken leg. I think it's just the angle. They nearly get hit by the little, what they call it? I don't know what they call it. That little vehicle thing. Like a quad bike sort of thing, but different, a bit bigger. But they're all fine, and they see, there he is, Godzilla wakes up, he's been asleep for a year, wakes up, looks at him, actually looks at Kate, and she says it later on, he looked at me, and he gets up, they're all, gets up, and it says, pull out of the way, and the helicopter blades, rotors even, clip, there we go, Godzilla's spikes, and the helicopter goes down. Godzilla gets up, does his roar, which is cool. It's always cool hearing Godzilla's roar, I must admit. And off he stomps. Doesn't do anything, doesn't kill anybody, just stomping off. Meanwhile, back in 55, they've been called back, because obviously Godzilla's still alive. Back on Monster Island, Lee was saying, we've got to tell, the big wigs. And Keiko was saying, why do we have to tell them? They'll just try and use a bigger bomb to kill him, and they'll just keep going, and if that fails they'll make an even bigger one, and then they'll use it on somebody else. That's her argument. That's the point where she's arguing that. But it's his duty, and they go into Monarch HQ, and they find this chap's already there, and he's taken over. I don't know his name. It'll be in the credits somewhere, but I don't know his name. I think he's Navy. I could be wrong. I probably am, I don't know. I'm guessing, is that a Navy rank thing there? I don't know. Lieutenant Commander? I've no idea, I don't know. Maybe full commander, I've no idea. Somebody will tell me in the chat. In the comments. Right, anyway, so this is where we learn that Lee is now no longer in command of Monarch. Then forward again to 2015. So she said, Godzilla looked right at me, and they're on about how do we stop him? And Lee's saying, we don't want to stop him, we want to help him. And he says, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? But he says, no, we've got to follow him and see what he wants, etc. But they don't want to go. They're looking for Hiroshi, and Lee says, well, we're going, this way. If you don't want to come with us, I'll leave you some water and a bit of food. But, there's a town, only 10, I think it's 10 clicks in that direction. So you'll be fine. So they drive off and they head off in another direction. And this is what May owns up that she sold them out. So they fall out with her and leave her behind. I don't know why they leave her. Why don't you just follow them? I don't know, but there she is telling them. So they all hate her. But she's a horrible character anyway. And that's it. You see, they're all heading in different directions. There we see there's a town in the distance. Is Godzilla going to go there? Don't know. Where's his footprints? Which way has he gone? Don't know. Obviously didn't go that way. I'd have big Godzilla-sized footprints, wouldn't they? But anyway. And that's the end of the episode. It was okay. I don't like the love triangle with Lee. And let's go back to a picture of Godzilla. Because we all like to see pictures of Godzilla, don't we? Come on, let's see the big fella. There he is. I don't like the love triangle with Lee and Bill and Keiko. Seems a bit pointless to me. It's just, drama for drama's sake. And the switching back between 55 and 2015, or the 50s, because it started in 52 and it ends in 59. Where we see Keiko seemingly die in 1959. It seems she seems to fall to her death amongst lots of creatures. But anyway, but you never know. We thought Hiroshi Randa were dead. It turns out he's fine, isn't he? So maybe she's still alive somewhere. Maybe she is Godzilla. I know she's not. I'm being daft. But yeah, so I don't like the constant switching backward and forwards. It gets a bit much at times. I mean, yeah, do it a few times, 1 or 2 times in the episode, but not all the time. It gets a bit jarring. And I still don't like May. I don't like many of the characters. Even Lee Shaw's getting a bit annoying now. Both versions. But anyway, it's plodding on. It's nice to see a monster. It is called Legacy of Monsters after all. And the Big G himself. Nice to see. But we're not seeing enough of them, in my opinion. We're not seeing enough of them. But never mind. I know it's not a big... Well, it probably is a big budget series. I bet it cost an arm and a leg, this. But we're not seeing enough monsters, in my opinion. So what score shall I give this? I'm going to give this one a 6. As I say, it's better than the last 2, which I think I give... something like a... I can't still remember what scores I give them. I think I gave last week's a 3, didn't I? This week I'll give it a 6 because it wasn't too bad. There were no messaging in it. Not that I noticed anyway, thank goodness. Like we got in last week's. But, this one wasn't too bad. Average. So I'll give it a 6. 6 out of 10. Right, so what's next week's episode called? Next week's episode is called Will the Real May Please Stand Up? So that's probably going to be a crap episode. If it's going to be about May, I'm not really interested. But because we learn in this episode that she did something bad, and so she ran away to Japan to hide and all that. So she's done something bad. So this is all going to come back to haunt her. Don't care. I just want to see monsters. That's all we want to see, isn't it? Right, we'll leave it there. So as I said, 6 out of 10. It was okay. It was better than the last 2. So hopefully they're going to get back on track. But going by the title of next week's episode, I'm not holding out much hope. But anyway. Right. So we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other. And until next time, I'll see you.